All right, this is more of like a sit down, honest chat kind of video. And it's something that I've noticed over the years and years and years and years of doing what I've been doing, which is helping ex athletes, lose the weight, gain the muscle, get fit, get healthy again after losing their career. Whether that career loss was 5 years ago, 1 year ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, it doesn't matter when. And you know what happens, and I was in that exact same place, was like you just sit back and you're like, oh my goodness, what happened? And like you have that moment of realization where you're like, I'm nowhere near as fit and as healthy and as energized as I used to be, right? And the point that I want to get across today that will actually make not just short-term change but long-term change in your life is accepting the fact that where you are now, health-wise, body-wise, even down to every little aspect of your life, even the things that have nothing to do with health and fitness. And remember, actually, everything does have to do with health and fitness, because without your health, what do you have? Is just understanding that the reason you're in the body that you're in is because you're making the same decisions, you're thinking in the exact same way, and you're taking the exact same actions as the person that you have been for the past, let's say you've been overweight for 2 years, as the same person that's been overweight for 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. Maybe you've been overweight since you were a little kid. And so you are in the same frame of thinking, believing, acting, and making decisions, which is therefore why nothing is changing. Now, you might be sitting here and being like, yeah, but I've tried everything. I've tried Ozempic. I've tried this diet, keto diet. I've tried fasting. I've tried this. I've lost weight before. And like, I commend you for taking effort and actually trying to change something, because there's so many people who actually don't care. Like, there's so many people who actually would rather just stay complacent and stay exactly where they are. Not a bad word on them. What I'm saying is it takes effort, acknowledgement, and courage to try and change in the first place. Issue is, though, especially if you have tried in the past and you tried and you failed and you tried and you failed, or you lost a bit of weight but you didn't lose all the weight you wanted to lose, or you lost some weight but then you put it back on. The painful, frustrating thing there is it starts to develop this belief that anything I try, I fail at. Anything I try actually doesn't work. And so not only do you start thinking, believing, and acting and making decisions in the same pathway, but now you have this cloud of like extreme, very real doubt hovering over your head every day. Like, oh, well, there's no point trying because I've already tried all of these things. Maybe you've even invested in like a mentor or a coach and it just wasn't the best program or whatever. And so that can create a lot of doubt. Now, I want to make it very clear to you that, I've been burned in the past as well. 1000%. Okay? And that created a belief that any sort of investment or mentorship or program just isn't worth it. And because I lived in that same frame of doubt because of one decision that burned me in the past, then it actually added 3 years onto getting to where I wanted to be, after I realized, oh, well, now that fear and that doubt that's hovering over my mind is the reason that I'm not where I want to be, because I don't have the courage to make another decision, a very similar decision, but hope that this time it works. Like, I really get it. It's like, what's the likelihood that it's going to work if it didn't work last time, right? But at the same time, that belief kept me stuck. It was like, well, an investment is a waste of time, waste of money, it's not going to work, blah, 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 okay? And so I still had the same way of thinking until I decided to change. And especially when it comes to health and fitness, like, honestly, when I first hired my first online coach, I was still at university in student debt loans. Like, I didn't have the money. But I didn't let that limiting belief of I don't have the money, or the scarcity mindset of like I don't have the money. I can't be spending money, hold me back. Because I knew at the end of the day, if I improved, then my grades would improve, my life would improve, everything else would improve. And it did. The other thing I want to talk about is, and this is nothing to do with programs or coaching or anything like that. What it's to do with is like the person you actually want to be. Now, a lot of the people I work with are like in their 30s or their 40s or their 50s or even, really late 50s. And because of the age and the years and the decades that add on, right? And there's more fear and there's more doubt and there's more uncertainty that's built up over the years that they've tried and failed and tried and failed and tried and failed. Or maybe they just let themselves down, right? Maybe they didn't invest in someone, but maybe they just let themselves down. The belief becomes stronger and stronger and stronger, and the doubt becomes stronger and stronger and stronger. But remember that change is just a choice. Change is about choosing. It's not about forcing. Anyone I ever have taught to, it's up to them if they want to jump on board. It's up to them to make the change. I can't force that. And I also don't want to work with someone who doesn't want to change anyway. When we look at the 2.0 version of us, though, we have to understand that. Now, I remember, 7 years ago, sitting down with the current version of me and literally picturing the person that's sitting here today. How would that person think? How would that person act? What decisions would that person make? What thoughts would that person have? What beliefs would that person have, right? And the minute I decided to do the best of my ability to act as that person, even though I wasn't actually that person, but change the way I thought, because I literally understood at one point in time, I had this huge moment of realization where I was like, the person I am now is because of the way I'm thinking. So in order to achieve something different, in order to get a different body, in order to lose the weight and keep it off long term, in order to gain the muscle and maintain that muscle long term, in order to improve my health, in order to improve my energy, I actually have to think differently. Because my current thoughts are keeping me as this person, and I want to be that person. I want to be the 2.0 person. So I actually have to think differently. And from our thinking and our thoughts come, actions and behaviors and decisions, and therefore they reshape our reality, right? Or our life or our body. So that is the most fundamental thing to understand. If you are desperately wanting to change, but nothing's actually changing, you've tried everything over and over and over again, is just understand that there's always two choices in life. There's the choice to stay the same, or there's the choice to make a change, which is a quote that many of you would have heard anyway. But my point for reiterating this is that when you choose to change, it is uncomfortable because it's a new thinking pathway that your neurological system and your brain hasn't gotten used to. It's like this new neuron-fired network. It's a different way of thinking, and so it's a shock. It's scary, it's uncomfortable, there's uncertainty. But if you don't have the courage to go over that, then you're just going to stay as the person you are now. And I don't say this to make you feel bad or anything like that. All I really say this for is because I was once in your exact position. And my life sucked. I hated my body. I was so tired. I'm now 7 years, down the track from that person. I have more energy even though I've got 7 more years on myself. And so always understand that, yes, you're only one decision away from making a change, but at the end of the day, what's required to make a choice of change? A different way of thinking. There's always two paths in life you can take. You can allow your limitation mindset, your scarcity mindset, all the fear, all the doubt to hover over your mind, close you in, and keep you stuck. Or you can choose to be the courageous person who knows they need to make a change, push through that fear and doubt and uncertainty in order to get to what is on the other side. Now, this has been 10 minutes, so I don't want to go too off track, but one thing I do want to mention as well is something that really helped me is honestly developing a relationship with God. I don't talk about my faith too much on here, because people have all of their opinions. But one thing that really helped me not only physically change, it was like I literally am not the same person. I think completely differently. I act completely differently. And one thing that wasn't just about thinking a different way, that also served me, was developing a relationship with God. And truly, through that relationship with God, I don't want to go too in depth with it, but through that relationship, I realized that I was actually making a lot of decisions and thinking a lot of things that weren't serving me, but I wasn't even aware that they weren't serving me. I wasn't even aware that, I was sinning per se. And so that relationship really guided me, especially in the moments of doubt, especially in the moments of uncertainty, especially in the moments where it's like, I want to be better. And that uncomfortability that will be there. And so that's what I want to finish off with. And if this resonated with you, of course you can book a call in below to have a chat with me, see if we can map out a bit of a game plan for you. If you're not a good fit, I'll let you know. If you are, I'll let you know. But again, it's your choice to change. It's your choice as to whether you choose to proceed with that or not. But yeah, I just felt a strong calling to make this video because I've just seen it so many times where people are literally so stuck in their own way of thinking and their own beliefs and their own thoughts and actions and decisions that they literally self-sabotage unawarely, keeping themselves stuck. So yes, investing in yourself might sound really uncomfortable. Changing your eating habits might sound really uncomfortable. But it isn't really, especially not when you have someone to guide you along that process and that will hold your hand. And, especially when it comes to eating, it's not about like cutting out every single food that is bad for you. It's actually about learning to heal your relationship with food so that you can eat the things you love and also eat things that nourish you from the inside out, right? Anyway, I've ranted on enough. I really did today feel a very strong calling to make a video like this because the only reason I've noticed change in my life and the only reason my clients see change in their life is because of this like underlying fundamental thinking process, really. And you can take it that next step further by creating a relationship with God or looking into that. But yeah, that's it for today, guys. Again, if you want to book a call below, you can. Only if you're truly interested, though. Like, I'm not there to just sit there and give you free advice. But yeah, that's it for today, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.